Hello, word nerds! Welcome to the dictionary, hosted by me, Spencer. We are going to talk about the words. We're getting into a little bit of a forest section. How long do the forest words go on? Not very long. We are going to start and end the forest section in this episode. Okay, here we go. First, we got foresight, F-O-R-E-S-I-G-H-T. Noun from the 14th century. Number 1, an act or the power of foreseeing. The synonym is prescience, which looks like the word pre-science, but it's not. I don't think there's any science involved in foresight. And of course, this is adding on to the words we had before, foresee, foreshadow, all those types of words. An act or the power of foreseeing. Ooh, I don't have this. Number 2, provident care. The synonym is prudence, as in, had the foresight to invest his money wisely. He had the provident care. What provident we saw? I think we might have seen providence in one of these previous ones. I don't remember where, but I don't know what that means in this context. Provident care? You are taking care, I don't know, something. But yeah, had the foresight to invest his money wisely. It was very prudent of him to invest his money. It wasn't like he knew that there was something bad coming, or good or bad. He's just like, yeah, I think this is probably a pretty good idea. I'm gonna think about this beforehand. I'm gonna not so much live in the moment, but I'm going to think about the future a little bit more. Animals, I don't know. I guess some animals do have foresight. You know, squirrels are storing away nuts underground so they can get them later if they remember where they put them. That's foresight. Number 3, an act of looking forward, as in, also a view forward. So just looking forward is foresight. I am literally looking forward. If I were looking backward, I would have to turn my body around like this and be like, look, I got backsight. But no, I'm looking forward, facing forward. That's my foresight. Okay, that foresighted is an adjective, foresightedly is an adverb, foresightedness is a noun, and foresightful is an adjective. The sound effect, we're gonna go, yeah, that's related to the forest words, because it feels so good to be in a forest. But before we get to the forest words, we have to talk about this one briefly. It is foreskin. This is a noun from 1530. 1530. What? How? I guess they I'm trying to think of what was the context. That, like, I know what we're going to call this. It's the skin in the front. It's the foreskin. What did they call it before that? I guess it wouldn't have been, I don't know. This is a fold of skin that covers the glands, G-L-A-N-S, the glands of the penis. It's not glands with a D. That's a different part. I guess, honestly, I don't remember even learning this word. The glands would be, another word would be the head, I guess, the head of the penis. It is called also prepuce, which I feel like maybe I've heard that word, but I didn't remember it. I did have to look up the pronunciation. Prepuce. So we'll learn more about that when we get to the P's. But no, we're not there. We're in the F section. The fold of skin that covers the glands of the penis. This is an interesting thing because there are some people, some cultures, some religions around the world that feel like this is a thing that needs to go. There are people who feel like it needs to go who aren't even doing it for religious or cultural reasons. I have heard that people say, that because it's skin that's over other skin, it creates this fold, this sort of area that's trapped. You got to clean that stuff. You got to do a good job cleaning, because if you don't, it's going to get nasty and you could get infected in there. And so, if you still got the foreskin, you best be cleaning all up in there. That's what Spencer's got to say. But Spencer, we're going there. Spencer doesn't have to do that because he doesn't have foreskin anymore because half of his family is Jewish. And on the Jewish side, they're like, get rid of it. When they're like a few days old, a week old, it's gone. We're getting rid of it. So, yeah, I went through that. Good thing I don't remember. Some people do this when they are teenagers, adults. I don't know anybody who's done that, but that must be an interesting situation. There was a whole bit about that in the show that he's gonna remember the name of, that takes place in the south side of Chicago. Oh boy, it's coming up with the anyway. It's that show with the family in Chicago, and one of the kids decides to do this, and he's like, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that. That episode made me feel very uncomfortable. Ugh. There was a good joke about foreskin that my grandpa told me. I don't know if I'll remember it, but if I come up with it, I will put it in the show notes. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. All right. Next is forespeak. This is a transitive verb from the 14th century. Number 1 is archaic. The synonyms are foretell and predict. Foretell, so you're predicting something, you're forespeaking, you're speaking something that is going to happen later. It's adding on to the idea of, ooh, I see this thing, I'm thinking about this thing, but now I'm literally speaking it out of my face. Number 2 is also archaic, and this is to arrange for in advance. So like, oh, we got some people coming over. Let's arrange our house for a party. Let's break out the decorations, the chips and dip platters. We gotta forespeak our house. I don't know if this is quite accurate. To arrange for in advance, or maybe it's just planning, just planning a thing. Forespeak. So this whole word is archaic. That's what I'm getting. Now we have the word forest. First form, noun from the 13th century. Number 1, a dense growth of trees and underbrush covering a large tract. Why wouldn't you say a large area? That just seems a little bit more clear for the common people, the common person, the common folk like me. A forest, yes. Does it have to be dense? Can it be sparsely populated by trees? And can you still call it a forest? What's that phrase? Seeing the forest through the trees or the trees through the forest? And something like that. Number 2, for forest. A tract of wooded land in England, specifically, we're calling out England, formerly owned by the sovereign and used for game. So in England, they got these places that was owned by the sovereign, which I guess would be the country, and used for game, like animals and probably hunting them animals. And I think this is where my last name comes from, not the forest, but the park. I think that the people who would sort of run these areas had the last name Park or Parks, and I have they are my forefathers and foremothers. Oh, just like a day or two ago, I actually heard somebody say foremothers in a stand-up comedy video. And I was like, I'd never hear this, and I just 2 days ago recorded foremother. So what are the chances of that? But anyway, forest, specifically this area in England where people go hunting animals. Number 3, something resembling a forest, especially in profusion or lushness. Ooh, what could this be? It is so lush. It's like a forest. As in the example, a forest of microphones. Now that is a highly odd example. When are there so many microphones set up at the same time that it looks like a forest? Are the microphones lush? A forest of microphones? This next example makes more sense. It's a kelp forest. Underwater, there's all these kelp plants, and you can like get all turned around. I've never been in them, but I've seen video. Beautiful, beautiful video of a kelp forest. I would maybe like to swim in it. There's probably some other fishes and stuff swimming in there, and that looks interesting. But the forest of microphones, I don't know. This is just an odd example. Look at those lush microphones. I'm gonna go walking in a forest of microphones. Okay, forestal, or forestial, That those are adjectives. Forested is an adjective. And can we think of any other forest examples that are not a literal forest but are like a forest? A forest of hair. Sometimes hair can be quite lush and densely populated. Okay, so this word is from the Lower Latin forestus, which means unenclosed. Unenclosed. So it's like it's not trapped by a fence. It just goes on wherever it wants to go, I guess. There's also another Lower Latin word in parentheses that says silva or silva, and I guess that means woodland. So it's specifically a woodland that's unenclosed. From the Latin foris, which means outside, and also from the word, there's more at the word forum. So, yeah, it's just an outside piece of woods that's unenclosed. It's a forest. Okay, that's it for that one, and now we're going to go. I'm doing a forest walk. I don't do those very often, or just being in nature at all. Gotta do that more. I did that this morning. I was walking in a little bit of nature, and I found a morel mushroom. I had never found one before. Now we have the second form of forest. This is a transitive verb from circa 1828. It is to cover with trees or forest, as in land densely forested with firs. That would be F-I-R-S, the fir trees. So it's the land is forested with firs. I, of course, also want to think of this verb being used as if somebody is taking a forest and putting it down or putting trees in the ground as they are doing the action of foresting. I guess when you are planting trees, a whole bunch of trees in a large tract of land, then maybe you are also foresting. Forest, just to cover with trees or forest. That's the definition makes it sound like you're just, hey, I'm going to plop down some trees. But the example feels a little bit different. I guess it's accurate. I guess the people who write the dictionary know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Forestation. That is a noun. Forestation. Now we have forestage, or I guess you'd say forestage. So if you pronounce this as if it were starting with the word forest, it would be forest age, but it's really forestage. This is a noun from 1923. The synonym is the 2E definition for the word apron, which, I think that's literally the front of the stage. They call that the apron, I guess. I don't remember. Sound like a bird in the forest. Now we have forestall. And again, if this is pronounced with the word forest, it would be forest all. All the forests in the land. But really, it's forestall. This is a verb, I believe it is just transitive, from before the 12th century. Number 1, to prevent the normal trading in by buying or diverting goods or by persuading persons to raise prices. So this seems like, I don't know, in the stocks world maybe? To prevent the normal trading in by buying or diverting goods or by persuading the persons to raise price. Hey, can you raise those prices? Because if you do, then then normal trading won't happen. This seems, I don't know, is this illegal? Or you are buying or diverting goods. You're doing something to prevent the normal trading to happen. Forestall. You are stalling it before something happens? Sure. Number 2 is archaic. The synonym is intercept. I'm going to forestall. Maybe when you're at the dinner table and you're like, "Hey, can you pass the salt?" And then somebody else gets it before you and they forestall the salt. It's foresalted. And then they take it and they're like, "Haha, I forestalled your salt. Here you go." Number 3 is obsolete. The synonyms are obstruct and beset. Yeah, that's similar to intercept, obstructing the natural flow of things, which is what the number 1 definition was all about. Preventing the natural flow of things, intercepting, obstructing. Number 4, to exclude, hinder, or prevent by prior occupation or measures. Doing something, I'm going to go do something, I'm going to occupy this space, I'm going to take some measures into my own hands so this other thing doesn't happen. Forestall. Number 5, to get ahead of. The synonym is anticipate. Ooh, like maybe I got some foresight. I'm going to forespeak something, foresee. I'm gonna get ahead of this thing. Oh, there's something coming. I'm going to forestall it because I don't want it to happen. I don't want that natural trading to happen. Another synonym for the whole thing is the word prevent. Yep, I don't like it where these things are going, so I'm going to forestall it. Forestaller is a noun. Forestallment is also a noun. Now, do we have any etymology? Yes, we do. This is from the Middle English, forestall. Same word without the E. It is an act of waylaying. Also from Old English, forestall, which is from the for prefix, plus the word stjal, which means position or stall. So now the for prefix, can we, what exactly was that? Let's see, recurring earlier, of course, earlier, occurring to, yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. It's just like something before another thing. Position, something before a position, a stall. Yeah, the stall, I don't really know how that's being used here exactly, but that's okay. It's not for me to understand. It's just for me to talk. Now we have forestay. 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 Noun from the 13th century. This is a stay from the foremast to the foredeck or bow of a ship. And I don't know what a stay is in boat terms. I wish I did. Oh, I wish I did. A stay from the foremast to the foredeck or bow of a ship. You get it. Okay, cool. Maybe this one's related. Forestay sail. Forestay sail? This is all one word. And sail is like the sail of a boat. This is a noun from 1742. It is the triangular aftermost head sail of a schooner, ketch, or yawl set on the forestay. It says, see the sail illustration. Oh, very good. I'm so glad that one day we will get more information. Okay, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Forester is next. Noun from the 14th century. Number 1, a person trained in forestry, and we are going to learn about forestry later. They are a forester. Number 2, an inhabitant of a forest. Ooh, maybe the little, what lives in a forest? We got birds, we got insects, we got mushrooms, we got lots and lots of animals, I think. Depends on the forest. Deer, squirrels, rabbits, raccoons. I don't know. I'm just thinking about my own local fauna and stuff. But yeah, all over the world, we got lots of animals. There's probably tigers in some places. Do they live in forests? They're a forester. Number 3, any of various noctuid woodland moths. The subfamily name is Agaristinae. So these specific moths are called foresters. I guess so. They're noctuid, so that makes me think of that they're nocturnal, but maybe not literally. Maybe something related to they're hanging out at night is what I believe. Moths usually do. Number 4 is capitalized. This is a member of a major benevolent and fraternal order. The foresters. I've never heard of them. I've heard of the order of the eagles and the water buffaloes and maybe the lions and the tigers and the bears. Oh my! But I did not know about the foresters. I guess if I had to be a part of one, maybe I would want to be part of the foresters because you could go to the forests and hang out. Okay. Next is forest floor. 2 words. Noun from 1849. This is the richly organic layer of soil and debris characteristic of forested land. It's just whatever is on the floor in the forest is the forest floor. There's going to be grass and leaves and sticks and twigs and little, more mushrooms. The morels grow from, I've heard, like rotting wood, rotting logs. And so, trees fall down, go boom, and then sometimes stuff will grow out of them. Lots and lots of stuff on the forest floor. Next is forest green. Noun from 1810. This is a dark yellowish or moderate olive green. And maybe I will post a picture on the social media of forest green. And also, I think, probably, I should post a picture of just a forest. Maybe a picture that I took even. Maybe I have some cool pictures of forests. And then also maybe forest floor. I do have this one picture that I think is pretty cool. It is a macro shot. It was, I guess, it might have been on a fallen log. I don't remember exactly, but it was a macro shot of just little grasses and like a little flower and stuff, and it was like tiny. It's like a tiny little environment, and it looks like a tiny forest, I guess. I love that stuff. All right, moving on to forest land. Forest land. Noun from 1649. Land covered with forest or reserved for the growth of forests. Sorry, you can't build your houses there or your buildings or your strip malls. You have to wait until the forest grows. Hundreds of years from now, you must hang out. It's set aside just for forests. I think we should do this more. I think we should set more land aside for forests and trees and plants and things and animals. The forest land. Wouldn't it be nice to just live in the forest land? Maybe not permanently, but maybe just, on the weekends. On the weekends, let's go to the forest. I hope this next entry says during their job. They are the forest ranger. 2 words. Noun from 1830. An officer charged with the patrolling and guarding of a forest, especially one in charge of the management and protection of a portion of a public forest. You'd think that we wouldn't need people to do this job, but we do. They got to watch out for sneaky people trying to do bad stuff in the forests. Also, they're checking on how are the plants and the animals doing. If they see, because they're there every day, they can see the little changes in the trees, and they're like, hey, I think that tree might be sick. I'm gonna go report it to the authorities, who can go fix the tree or have to cut it down if they gotta. Okay, because otherwise, if they got an illness, they got to get rid of it, because otherwise it might spread to the other trees, and then you got a whole epidemic of dead trees, and we would like to protect as many trees as possible. So good job, forest rangers, for doing your I'm sure they do so many more things that I don't even know about. Next is forestry. Noun from 1823. Number 1, the synonym is forest land. Number 2A, The science of developing, caring for, or cultivating forests. The science of developing forests, caring for forests, cultivating forests, making sure that they are as healthy as friggin' possible. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's been going on for all these years. There were some people who I will say are, the white modern people who were like, we don't want any forest fires. We got to clean away all of this natural brush that's happening. We got to get rid of it because we don't want forest fires. But the indigenous people of the world, they knew that you got to do these fires regularly. The brush is there for a reason. It's good because it promotes growth and change and evolution. Otherwise, it's like the environment gets it's not natural. So, forestry. There's some interesting stuff happening. Now people are starting to realize, okay, now we got to do this stuff. The science. We are learning from science. 2B, the management of growing timber. And yeah, some people, we love to use our wood for, building houses and chairs and other things, benches maybe. And so some people are like, I'm going to grow trees for a long time and I'm going to cut it down and make stuff out of them. So I'm doing forestry. As long as it's sustainable, as long as it's, you're not tearing down a whole bunch of forests and then not regrowing them, you gotta have a good system in place. All right, now we have our last word, and I'm gonna go, ha. That's the sound of the forest tent caterpillar. Ooh, the forest tent caterpillar.
I'm a forest tent caterpillar. I'm a noun from 1854. I am a moth.
A moth.
A moth whose orange-marked larva is a tent caterpillar and a serious defoliator of deciduous trees. Oh, I like to defoliate your deciduous trees. Yum, 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 yum.
The species name is Malacosoma distria, and that is of the family Lasiocampidae. And I am going to look up a picture once I can find my cursor. I'm going to look up a picture of the forest. What is it? The forest tent caterpillar. Why are we using the word tent here? And why not moth? It's a it starts off as a caterpillar and then it becomes a moth, just like some caterpillars become butterflies. But why wouldn't we just call it the forest tent moth? And then it starts off as a caterpillar. I don't get this. All right, let's look this up. Okay, here we go. Let's look up the pictures. Well, I assume it lives in the forest, which is why it's called this, but the tent part I still don't understand. Here are some pictures of so many of these caterpillars in a big old pile. Maybe they were just born. I don't know. There's so many of them. But they largely have this sort of brown-green color. It looks like they got maybe a stripe going down, maybe some white splotches down their back. Yeah, a lot of these have the white splotches on their back. And it looks like they camouflage pretty good on the bark of a tree. The forest tent caterpillar. All right. Wonderful. I shall post a picture of that. And the moth, it looks very gray. So again, I think it camouflages well on the trees. In the forest. All right, let's pick a word of the episode. We had foresight, foreskin, forespeak, forest, forestage, forestall, forestay, forestaysail. That's a funny word to say. Forester, forest floor, forest green, forest land, forest ranger, forestry, and forest tent caterpillar. I'm just going to pick forest, I guess, as the word of the episode. I'm gonna hang out in a forest. I'm gonna hang out in a forest. I'm sitting on the forest floor. It's really wet. My pants are wet. All right, that was great. That was wonderful. I have not watched another movie since the last time we spoke. How are you doing since the last time we spoke? I hope everything is great. Yeah. What did we watch last night? We started watching Kunk on Earth. We watched Kunk on Life a little while back, and Kunk on Earth. We watched 2 episodes. They're just about a half hour each, and it is very funny and educational. Philomena Kunk is the character's name. I think Diane Morgan might be the actress's name, and she is great and funny, and you get to learn some stuff, but you also get some information that is entirely inaccurate. Yeah, they're a fun watch. All right, time to go. This has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.
Meow.